Soldiers of Shoot.
Soldiers of Shoot. I am Hollywood Edwards. With me is the Electric City Saint, and we are here to talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling's Best of the Super Juniors tournament, which kicks off Monday, May 13th. Saint, how you doing tonight?
Konnichiwa, Mr. Edwards. How are you doing, bud?
Konnichiwa. Excited about the Super Juniors this year?
Yeah, it's definitely something I think even for the past couple of weeks, I kind of tease it on our channel here every once in a while that this is one of the things I've been looking forward to, the most coming out of this May-June stretch we have coming up here.
Yeah. It's always a good time of year. I love that they actually have tournaments.
I do too, and it's crazy that it's like that lost art form that you don't really see a whole lot, inside the United States as much. I'll never understand that because it's a very good way to, make the either like the trophy that's involved or the championship more prestigious and like more valuable, and at the same time too, it's a good way to set up different storylines or
sure.
Potentially end some storylines that have been going on. And you just don't see it hardly anymore, and it's nuts to me because it's such a good way of marketing your business for the whole month like they do like this.
Yeah, and it's why all their titles are so damn significant, because they do things like this. But for those that don't know, if you're not a New Japan follower, but I'm assuming you are because you clicked on this and you're listening, May 13th, which at time of recording is tomorrow, to June 5th, will be the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, and it will culminate June 5th at... I'm going to let you take this.
It will culminate on June 5th at the Ryugoku Kokujikan Sumo Hall in Tokyo.
There you go.
Which, if you're not aware of this, the Ryugoku is actually like a district in Tokyo. That it's essentially the center of the sumo world. They have the big sumo championship there, which is actually currently ongoing. And they have all different kind of restaurants and tourist attractions that nice. Have like that sumo theme to them. So, I mean, if you've never been there before, I've never been there personally, but I've heard it's a very cool place to check out there in Tokyo.
Where did you learn to speak Japanese?
Just basically, I'm kind of self-taught. I use different apps, and I do have like an actual textbook. Huh. And I've been doing it for about almost a full year. It's going on about 300 some days, so I'm almost. I'll be at the full year mark at about August or something like that. What month is it now? May, right?
May. Yep. Can you say a full sentence?
You put me on the spot there, bro. Oh, actually, you know what? Why not?
Go ahead. Give us a sentence.
Isashiburi da ne. O genki desu ka? I just said, long time no see, and how are you doing?
Wow, Saint.
I actually was going to lead off with that, but I figured we'll ease into it. If he brings it up, okay.
Saint, look at you. Oh, look at you. International.
What
was that?
I just asked if you like pro wrestling.
No.
No.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool that you are bilingual, sir. All right, let's get into it. We have for those that don't know, it's a round robin tournament. We have 2 blocks of guys. We're looking at 10 guys in each block.
Yeah, it's the first time that the tournament had 20 people, which is very cool to see, because we've had, this is a tournament that, it's been around essentially since 1988 when it was originally, it was a different name at the time, but they've had tournaments where they had maybe only 10 guys in it, 16 like 14, and now here we are, 2019. We have freaking 20 guys in this thing. I mean, it's crazy because like I said, it's been around since 1988 when it used to be called Top of Super Juniors, and I think that original tournament literally only had like 8 or 10 guys, which is nuts.
Yeah, I haven't seen a juniors tournament in a while. And I definitely read these blocks and I went, this seems a little bigger. So I wanted to ask you that. So for those that don't know, the winner of the entire tournament at the finals gets the shot at Dragon Lee, who's the current champion. But Dragon Lee is in this. So what would happen if he wins?
That's an interesting question because in the past, I think it was Waturo Inoue. He actually was the junior heavyweight champion going into the tournament. He won the tournament, and because of that, they had him graduate up to the heavyweight class, and he vacated the title, and that was kind of like his, like I said, graduation essentially from the junior heavyweights division. So that is something in the back of your mind to possibly, think about with Dragon Lee, because he's been there for quite a while. I don't really see that happening. He seems like he's just a junior heavyweight through and through. I don't really see him getting that like heavyweight push, but I guess it's certainly a possibility because it has happened in the past where the champion has actually won the tournament. This wouldn't be the first time if it does happen.
Okay. So for American wrestling fans that don't know exactly what we're talking about with the round robin, I think you could probably compare this to the Bound for Glory series. If people remember when TNA used to do that, you get a certain amount of points per win, loss, draw. So how does it work for the Super Juniors?
Yeah, it's the same thing. You'll get certain points per win, or losses obviously don't get any points. I think a draw, I believe, is like 1 point, and essentially it's going to be a round robin tournament, which I really love that they do that because as far as tournaments go, when the ones that actually are still around, you don't really see round robin rules or format that much. So it's kind of interesting, honestly.
See, I don't want to turn this into a WWE bash session, but I have to say it because I'm looking at the block here, and as you're saying, it's round robin. You love that they do that. Obviously, everybody is going to be paired up with everyone else and fight. So you will have repeat matches, but it's purposely done that way because it's a tournament. It's a round robin tournament. So if you look at the repetitive booking on WWE, you would think at some point maybe they would figure out, hey, you know what we could do? We could have a bunch of the same matches over a period of a month, and nobody would bitch about it because it would have a meaning if we did a round robin tournament. Wouldn't that make sense? I mean, if you're going to do it anyway, you might as well make an excuse for it.
Right. So does Snake. Like, seriously, though, like, I agree. If they're going to do rematch of Mania as it is anyway, why not actually have a point to it and a meaning towards, having those rematches occur?
Right.
Whatever
he said.
He got me going into Japanese tonight the whole way through.
I love it. So we have two blocks, the A block and the B block. Let's go through the A block first, because A block actually kicks off first night, which would be tomorrow or today, depending when you're hearing this. We have the veteran Taka Michinoku. I'll read them all and then we can pick them apart.
Right. All right.
Okay. I may need some help. Okay. But maybe you could just let me stammer through and then correct me. All right. Here we go. Taka Michinoku. I know that one. Titan. Yoshinobu Kanemaru. No. Go ahead. Fix that one.
Yeah. You actually had it right. Then you stumbled over it.
Damn it. Marty Skrull. Jonathan Gresham. Sho. Shingo Takagi. Takagi?
Takagi, you had it right.
Okay. Dragon Lee, the champ. Taiji Ishimori. Is that correct?
Yep.
And Tiger Mask. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, so out of this, I will say, obviously, Marty would be a great representative from my American point of view. Dragon Lee, obviously, the champ. Who's the favorite here from the New Japan perspective?
Man, it's weird to say this. I think this is one of the years I really don't quite know where they're gonna go with this, like who actually is the favorite. I look at it like Dragon Lee certainly is up there. I think he'll definitely be one of the stronger point getters. I want to see Shingo Takagi essentially win this. He's been a veteran for many, many years. I mean, dude, it's crazy to think about this. He's already 36 years old. He's been wrestling since 2004 for the Dragon Gate promotion. And I seriously would love to really see him win it. He's the personal favorite of mine that I'd like to see win it. I don't necessarily know if they go that way, though. I really don't know. I think it may just be Shingo or Dragon Lee. The other person I look at here that sticks out is, believe it or not, actually Tiger Mask. He's won. This is the same guy as Tiger Mask 4. For whatever reason, they just call him Tiger Mask now.
Okay.
He's actually been competing in these tournaments on and off since 2002. And he's actually won it 3 times, or actually 2 times, I believe. And he actually was the only person to win it back-to-back in 2004 and 2005. So the way things are going right now with him, I could kind of see them doing like that inspirational story where he actually has a big run at this and either comes up short, maybe like getting into the finals, or maybe even he actually makes it into the finals and then loses there. I don't quite see him winning it, but like, it's crazy as it sounds, he actually might be the dark horse in Block A. Okay.
All right.
What do you got there?
I'll take that. Ishimori, did he just join Bullet Club? I swear I read somebody just joined.
He's been in Bullet Club for about 2 years now. He's the new person that's the Bone Soldier.
Okay. Did they have a new member recently?
They had 2 new members, and they're both actually in this tournament, actually.
Who was that?
Robbie Eagles and El Phantasmo.
Okay, I think I was thinking Phantasmo then. Okay. Well, you brought him up. Let's do the B block. Eagles, Bandito, El Phantasmo, Will Ospreay, Bushi. I love Bushi. Taguchi, Yo, and Rocky Romero. It's hard for me not to take Ospreay here. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. There were 2 more. I have Flip and El Desperado, but they were pulled for visa issues. Come on, guys, get your shit together. Who takes their place?
Actually, they've been replaced, actually.
Yeah, who took
like
their
you
place?
said, Flip Gordon had visa issues. He is being replaced by the young lion Ren Narita. And El Desperado, he actually is a New Japan guy. He actually didn't have visa issues. He's actually injured, apparently. He had to pull out, and he's been replaced by somebody named Doki. I hate to say this, he's the only person in the tournament. I have no clue who in the hell that is. I have never heard of him before. I don't really believe he's done much with New Japan at all. So I'm actually curious to see who this guy is. It's like, I seriously have no fucking clue who that is. And I hate to say that because it practically makes it sound like we don't know what the hell we're talking about here. But like, I never heard of him before. He's kind of like the dark horse, I guess, in this. I really don't know what to expect from this guy. I'm not really familiar with him at all.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of familiar with everybody in this, kind of. But like I said, I've been out of New Japan for so long. It's been a couple years, and as they restocked the pile, some of these names aren't as familiar as they used to be. All right. B block. I'm taking Will out of this. I think the finals are actually going to be, I'm going to take Will versus Dragon Lee, and Will goes over. just to make it interesting. What do you think?
I like that idea because I think the main plan, obviously, and he has actually, gone out and challenged him multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Lee wants the rematch with Hiromu when he comes back from injury, and I could kind of see, like, I think Will Ospreay is definitely a strong pick because he actually is a former winner, and I could even see him possibly even repeating. But I think the Dragon Lee versus Will match actually would make sense because I think Dragon Lee essentially would get the big win over him, and then, like, obviously that would give him more time until he faces Hiromu Takahashi and, like, whatever big rematch they have. And it's crazy to realize that he's going to be back so soon as he is after having that crazy injury he did.
I thought he was done, dude. I thought he was done as
well. Because it reminded me, very much of the Hayabusa accident. I mean, way different maneuver, but still at the same time, the injury was very like crazy. Like, he could have never walked again, and here it is, like, several months later, he's going to be having a match sometime this year. I mean, it's nuts, dude.
Wow. Well, everybody can catch this on New Japan World, right? NJPW World.
Yeah.
And for those other people, I'm sure you can find another place somewhere to find it and watch. How will you be digesting this?
I hate to admit it, I don't have NJPW World because I've told you this off air before. For whatever reason, I just can't see investing money into it simply because of the fact that they don't have an app on the PlayStation. So, like, I can't physically just, like, watch it straight from my TV. And if they did, I would instantly buy this. And I even told you this as well, that I'd be even willing to share an account with all the SOS members and, split it or whatever. But, like, I don't know, for me, like, to pay to be able to watch it on, like, a small 5-inch cell phone screen, to me, it isn't worth it at that point. And it's a fair price. It's only 9.99 yen, which basically translates to about $10. So, it's the same price as the WWE Network, essentially.
Right. Yeah, I did have it a few years ago, and I had it for maybe 2 years. I kept it, but it almost got to the point that I got burned out on good wrestling. And I know that's not going to make sense, but man, that thing, if you're debating on whether or not to get that and you are big time into New Japan, I would highly suggest it because it was so good I got burnt out on it. I mean, you could watch, they do all their shows, obviously, but they even do house shows, quote unquote, with a hard cam, and it's just sitting there, like, and you get the perspective like you're just sitting there stationary in the audience. And even those shows were well worth the price. So if you're thinking about it, get it. And if you're worried about, I can't read Japanese, how do I do? I don't know how to put my credit card in and all that. You can find that information online. It's very easy and very simple. If I could do it and somehow manage to do it successfully, I'm sure anybody could. So yeah, it's a really good service.
Yeah, and the good thing, too, is actually it's been a while since you've had it. When I tried the free trial about a month or so ago, they actually do have an English translation button there that automatically will have everything in English. And, of course, too, it's the same thing with the commentary. In this day and age, you have that option of having the English commentary or the Japanese commentary. And I think lately the English commentary team has been very good. I'm very surprised with it most of the time.
Well, back in my day of New Japan, it was just Japanese, but the big events it was when Jim Ross was doing the big events. So
right, yeah, it was Jim Ross and Barnett, right?
Yep. But even that, though, I enjoyed watching or listening to the Japanese guys. I didn't know what they were saying, but the excitement in their voice as they're calling the matches, they're calling what we're seeing anyway, so you know what they're saying, even though you don't. So Yeah, it was really cool. It was a cool perspective to get, that side of it.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it's one of those things that I think in this day and age a lot of people take for granted, like you said, because the English commentary thing is actually relatively new in the grand scheme of New Japan, and if you think about it, because they've been around for so long, and they really didn't really start doing this English commentary thing till like the 2010s. So it's it's definitely something that I think a lot of people should appreciate now that it's they're going more global.
Right, right. Are there any matchups that you are really looking forward to seeing?
Well, dude, I mean, right off the bat, I think they're kicking off things off with a bang at the Sendai Sun Plaza Hall. I mean, that show will actually air, I think, before our video goes up. But I mean, they already have 5 big A block matches. I mean, you got Marty Scurll versus Jonathan Gresham. I think that will be a very good technical contest. Them guys are very much, that old school, slower style, technical based, submission based, you know, wrestlers, and I think that's kind of a cool matchup with those two. You also have Shingo Takagi versus Sho, and then the huge rematch from the Wrestling Dantaku event. I mean, they're literally doing this about a week and a half later. They're having, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Dragon Lee taking on Ishimori in a rematch. So right off the bat, I think that very first day has a lot of good matches, and then the cool thing about this tournament, and I'm not even sure if this has ever been done before, during the middle of the tour, there's actually this 3-day stretch of cards that they're doing at the Kirken Hall that it's going to feature singles tournament matches exclusively. There's going to be no filler tag team matches. So, like, dude, if you're, like, not interested in those type of matches and just want to see the tournament action, like, I think that's actually really, like, one of the best parts of this tour that you're going to want to check out if you aren't really into all that stuff. I mean, that stretch begins on like May 22nd, I believe, and to the 24th. And I think actually there's a fourth show that's gonna be like that too. That's in Chiba. That's on the 26th.
That's good to know.
Specific. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I think that's also helpful. Like I said, like I know, a lot of people don't care for the crazy multi-man tag team matches. I get it. And if you want to avoid that stuff and really see the bulk of the tournament, that's in the middle of the tour, and that's what point in time I think you'd really want to check out. Like, even if you've never like seen this tournament before, because there's going to be good stuff here, I think.
Yeah.
Specific matches I'm looking forward to. I'll try to keep this quick. The 14th, Bandito versus El Phantasmo. I think that's a very good stylistic matchup. I don't think those two have ever wrestled before. The 15th, Takagi versus Titan, or whatever you want to call him. I think it's actually, they say it Titan.
I say
Scurll
Titan.
versus, yeah.
Of course it would be Teton. Go ahead.
And then Scurll Ishimori also on the 15th. I think that's going to be pretty amazing. The biggest one probably is Ospreay versus Yo on the 19th. I got Ospreay here a lot. I got Ospreay versus El Phantasmo on the 22nd. I think that's actually the main event of the night. Dragon Lee versus Shingo on the 23rd, and then the Shingo versus Ishimori on the 31st. And then, of course, the finals. I mean,
right.
There's a lot going on here.
Right. Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of those.
Do you have any specific ones or not really?
Basically, I'm looking at A Block, and man, it's hard not to pick any matchup. It really is, because like even Taka, Tiger Mask. I mean, did I ever see Taka versus Dragon Lee? No. Is that going to be great? Yes. B Block. I'm looking. Rocky Romero. I'm kind of wishy-washy with Rocky. Ospreay though, like we've talked about him in the past. Sometimes he's a little bit too technical for my liking, if that makes sense. But
right,
I'm a big fan of Bushi, Scurll, obviously, Yo now being here in the B block with Osprey. There's a ton of matchups. Like this is, I don't want to say like, fantasy, dream match type stuff, but if for fans that are into that kind of style, there's no need to look anywhere else. I mean, watch this tournament, watch these matches, because this is the best it's going to get. This is the best option you're going to see all year for something like this, obviously. So,
yeah, too, I would say, if you're a listener and you're not really into, the cruiserweight style, yes, there's going to be a lot of flippity floppity flu here, especially coming out of Will Ospreay and some of these guys. But at the same time, all these guys, I would say, a lot of them have a very good mixture of styles. I mean, like I said, we mentioned Jonathan Gresham, the Octopus. I mean, dude, he is one of the best submission wrestlers probably in the business today. Very technical, very slow paced, kind of that British style. You'll see that. You'll also really see, like, if you're more of a big fan of that Smash Mouth, strong style, you're still going to see that from Shingo Takagi. I mean, you look at that guy, he could easily be a heavyweight. And it's crazy to think about it, because we might be looking at a person that might be in this tournament, and then 2 months down the line, they might actually throw him into the G1.
Right.
And I think he could fit. He is one of them guys, because of the way his body type is, that he could essentially fit into both categories and kind of work both of them styles. I mean, seriously though, like, I think there's such a good variety in this. Even if you're not a fan of like that junior heavyweight or even cruiserweight style, there's a little bit of something for everyone, I think. Because there's Ring of Honor guys in this. There's CMML guys, so you'll see that Lucha Libre influence. Definitely on Dragon Lee. Bandito is also somebody I think you'll definitely see a lot of that Lucha Libre style, which I get. Some people don't really care for that. I'm a little wishy-washy on it myself, but I could still appreciate it,
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm looking at this Skrull versus Dragon Lee on the 31st.
Oh, dude, that might be very good.
That might be the one, in my opinion.
That's such a like a stylistically like different matchup too, and I think that's cool with this, because you're going to see the high flyers, of course, but then you might see them go up against somebody that's a big submission artist like a Skrull or a Jonathan Gresham.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be a good tournament. I think it's going to be a good show.
And I would even say too, if you're not going to see a whole lot of heavyweights on this tournament, because they're going to be saving them for the Dominion show on the 9th. And then, of course, the G1. But they do have Taichi, who is the never welterweight champion. He is booked on this show. Villain Enterprise is going to have a big performance in this, I think, because, of course, Skrull's in the tournament. But they also have Brody King has been booked for this. Haven't heard anything about PCO. Maybe he'll be at the finals in some kind of matchup. Maybe they'll have the whole Villain Enterprises take on like some other team. Who knows? But I think even I forget who else is booked for this. But there's a couple other heavyweight guys. You're not going to see them a whole lot on this tournament, but like they'll be there. That, like, of course, if you're not really that interested in like this tournament, there still might be enough stuff there that you'll be interested in.
Sure, right. And if you've never seen New Japan and you're curious about it, trust me, just go ahead and delve in. You won't be disappointed. If you're wondering about it, you'll enjoy it for sure.
Yeah, and the funny thing with this year's, especially with the finals on the 5th, there's a lot more going on than the tournament, which is very interesting. That we have on tap for that final night. We only currently have 2 matches booked, but they're having the big comeback match for Tanahashi. He's going to be going up against Jay White. And then another big thing with this that we'll see on June 5th is the big reveal of who's behind the Time's Up video package. Have you actually seen it, Edwards?
Yes. You're talking about the one with the biker?
Oh, yeah, that's the one, bro.
Dude. I don't know. All right. All right, give me some options. What are you hearing? Who do you think this is?
I think that's one of them things that's very similar to like the time bomb videos they did for Hiromu a few years back. They're throwing a couple of hints out there, and I guess it's kind of up to like the fans to kind of decipher it. I mean, you have that whole biker bar thing going on. The back of the jacket has the UK flag patch.
Mm-hmm.
They have like that knife carving the hourglass shape. I think that looks freaking cool as hell. I mean, dude, this thing is crazy because I've heard everything from this being Chris Brooks to being John Moxley to being Josh Bodum and even CM Punk. I mean, I'll tell you who I think it is. I want to hear who you're thinking this is, because like I said, I heard a lot of different names being teased essentially for this, who people think it might be.
The flag is throwing me off, but also
I think the flag honestly is supposed to be a misleader. I think people are going to overthink that quite a bit. I'll tell you who I think it is in a little bit here, but like I said, I want to kind of hear who you think this is. Because
let me ask you this: do you think this is a debut, or do you think this is a return?
Man, I don't want to totally give my idea away, but I think it's a return, actually. I don't think it's going to be somebody new, but I think the potential is there for it to be, somebody newer that hasn't been there before also. So
2 weeks ago, maybe Moxley would be an option.
It's funny because I look at that and it kind of reminds me of him. They don't show the guy that well. We already know he's worn leather jackets and stuff before, so.
Right. Dude, also had cowboy boots on too.
Yeah, that part threw me off, honestly, dude. I thought it was like Hangman or something.
Yeah, it was very like Hangmanish, mixed with James Storm, mixed with Aces and Eights or something. You know what? I'm gonna have to think about it. I'm gonna have to look at it a little bit more. I'll be honest. I've only seen it once, and I feel like it was just minutes ago. So you give me your go ahead. Give me your thoughts on this.
Well, guys, I mean, if you really think it's Phil Brooks, don't get your hopes up.
No, I don't think.
I mean, that would be friggin' incredible. If it was Punk, I highly doubt it. I don't really think the way that they're presenting this, it doesn't really scream CM Punk.
It's not Punk enough, no.
No. I think Chris Brooks, is being thrown out there quite a lot. I could see it being him, obviously, being a big kind of guy in the UK. I think if people don't really want to get their hopes up too much, I would bank on him or, like I said, Josh Bodum. They're both guys that, New Japan has that connection with Rev Pro, and both of them guys have been part of that promotion. So I could see it being them. However, the person that I think it is, and the name that stuck out a lot to me the most, is Oka Tomoyuki. He is a guy that's currently on excursion in the UK. He originally was the Great Okar, and I think that's currently his gimmick there too. I could see him being that person that they bring in, that they give him a totally different look, and they have their big coming out party, essentially. I mean, like I said, I think that British flag is a bit of a misleader. I don't really think it's going to be an actual British athlete. I think it could be this guy just because of the fact, like, they could use that as more just of a reference to the fact that he's on excursion there.
It could be.
If you've seen pictures of this guy, I could kind of see it. Like, I could kind of see him doing a biker look, because he kind of is a little bit more on the scruffier side. Mm-hmm. And, like, just his look, I think, would work with what they're going to present with this.
It could be somebody from his past, too. Maybe we're not thinking Juice.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. Like, it could actually really be Hangman, actually, when you think about it from that regard as well. Or maybe it could be, he was CJ Parker in NXT.
Right, yeah, it could be somebody from there that we're not even thinking about.
Yeah. Is Ty Dillinger able to wrestle yet? I'm not sure about that one. Actually, he's contractually able to sign with
I'm not
somebody
sure.
else, but his name just came in my mind too because I thought they just released him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's out there. And you know the thing about it too is like when they first started running the Switchblade promo videos for Jay White, it's like
Right.
you know they have the young lion, and then they go on excursion, and then they come back and they have the gimmick. Like it could be like somebody that you're not thinking about, but now is suddenly cool from a 55-second video because that's kind of what New Japan does.
Right. Yeah,
So
they definitely did that. And the funny thing is, it actually did remind me of the Switchblade stuff with the knife and all that.
Mhm. They do a good job with that stuff, bringing guys in like that. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Obviously, I also saw that Villain Enterprises is looking for a fourth member. I guess they put something out on social media about it.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
Any thoughts on that?
I don't really know who they put in, who it would be. I have absolutely no clue. I actually think I could actually see a woman being added to it. I think that would be
Okay.
kind of interesting that they actually, because they don't have a whole lot of factions that are like that these days, where they have like maybe two or three male wrestlers and then have like that woman wrestler. The latest earliest one I could think of like going back would be like the Kingdom, like when they had Mike Bennett and all those guys. They had Maria with them, but
Right.
obviously she really wasn't really working that many matches. Obviously,
Could you see Moxley stepping in there? Or do you think he would
oh
be?
man,
I mean, that would be insanely great, but I mean,
that would be insane because I think you just it's crazy. He actually, when you just mentioned him, I think he would kind of fit right in there
yeah. Yeah.
because he already has that craziness to him that I think it would fit right in, and maybe even at some points it would even clash with Marty, and maybe they'd have like some kind of feud with them down the line.
Right. That could work. Interesting.
Yeah, I really don't know who like this is gonna be, and I really, like you said, I don't know who they would throw in with Villain Enterprises because there's so many different indies out there, and there's just so many people in the business
Sure.
right now. It's
Right.
like almost hard to keep track of all these
It's
guys.
true. It's true. And then you watch something like Impact, and they have an X Division match, and you're like, "Who the hell are these five guys?" They're all good. You know, it's crazy the talent that's out there. But do you have anything else on the Best of Super Juniors tournament? I would say for those listening, we will come back maybe with an update towards the end of the week, maybe. And
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna try to do.
yeah, like before the finals. Do you have anything else on it?
As far as New Japan goes, this is basically the biggest thing they have going on the next month or so until the Dominion on the 9th.
Yeah. Yeah, and that'll be a good show too. That's always one of the better shows overall. Okay, so that is our Best of the Super Juniors preview. Enjoy, New Japan fans, and we will see you at some point this week for an update on how the blocks are looking. But until then, check out the rest of the channel. Like this video, subscribe, leave us a comment if you want to, and follow us on Twitter at Soldiers of Shoot. Follow the Electric City Saint at Steamtown Stunna, and follow me, Hollywood Edwards, at Blading for Truth on Twitter. Till next time, everybody, thanks for listening, and enjoy New Japan.